And now, a word from
Infirmary Media.
Lick my balls!
It's time for Blumpkin and Friends, starring your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Here we go again.
Hey kids, I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin, and with me here today is my friend...
Neil. Other Neil.
Aha, okay, yeah. So the reason that Neil is here today is to talk about a vasectomy that he had.
Yeah, fun times.
It's something that I myself have looked into, and something that years ago I found out that my father had.
Gross.
Really?
Here's the story of that. We were sitting at the dinner table, and I want to just say we were eating macaroni and cheese or some sort of condensed Campbell's soup. And
Standard fare.
He fucking tells the story, basically, of that he got one. It wasn't the details of everything that happened, but he mentions it. And then I thought it was funny. I'm like, oh, yeah, they took care of that, did they? Snippy Snippy. For years, I would break that out at random intervals. And he would get kind of pissy about it.
I was going to say, at family events, I'm sure.
Well, no, not like in front of people.
Oh, that would have been better.
Mainly in front of us, so that, you know, he had to kind of temper his reaction while still being able to fully flip the fuck out. My mom's like, shut up. It was just one of those easy digs I would take at the old man.
Oh, sure. You somehow think somebody's less of a man, right?
In hindsight, I probably should have gotten one some years ago, judging by the number of other people that live in my house that have my same DNA.
I honestly thought you were going for, an even dozen or so.
Yeah, people keep making that 12 joke, and I keep telling them, stop fucking jinxing me. They're going to have to steal my sperm at this point.
There are just some people that are just too fertile, There's all ends of the spectrum, and you might be one of those people.
Well, I bumped into a case manager of one of my clients today, and she's like, oh, yeah, so what, you have 4 kids, right? I'm like, 5 now. We had another one. Here's her reaction. Fuck.
I believe that was mine when you had texted me.
Yeah. So I almost wanted to be like, fuck is right. At this point, I am beyond trusting birth control. I'm a 0.1%er multiple times.
Yeah. How do you hit the lottery that many times, right?
Well, the worst part is the condescending nature of people's comments like, well, you know how babies are made, right? I'm like, well, obviously I do because I've done it enough fucking times.
Right.
Plus the pregnancies that didn't take and make it to the end. And there's been a handful of those, too.
Yeah, before my son, there was 1 or 2, chances or, I guess, missed opportunities, if you want to say, that things didn't come to fruition, or else, I would have been a dad multiple times over myself.
Yeah, the wife said a couple miscarriages. This makes for great comedy.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get into too much detail, but yeah, there was kind of a similar instance in in my wife's experience as well, and that was part of the reason why I decided to get the operation. Because at my age, I don't want to be a dad again. I don't want to go through everything from scratch, from start again. I don't want to be 60 when my kid's graduating from high school.
I was going to say, because you're 41.
42, actually.
42.
Yeah.
Well, when you say at my age, people are going to be like, well, what's your fucking age?
Well, I just thought it was assumed.
Let's just throw it out there.
Tell it from my
42 plus 18, yeah, you'd be an old-ass dad.
Exactly, yeah. I'd almost be collecting retirement, by the time my kid's graduating.
My joke is with the new one that he's going to graduate high school if he does it on schedule and he's not a dummy when I'm 55. So I'll
there you go.
Trade in him being in school for an AARP membership and senior discounts.
If you're okay with that, I guess.
Why is the senior discount 55 still?
I don't know, but my parents were oddly apprehensive about it first, and then they realized how much stuff they could get at a discount, and they started just slinging that around all the time. We're seniors. It
almost seems like it should be on par with retirement age.
You would think so, right? Yeah. But retirement age is kind of one of those things that's not the same for everybody either. I keep hearing that we'll be 70 and still working. Which
70. We'll
probably.
be 80.
Yeah, probably.
We'll be sitting there drooling on ourselves, shitting our pants in a rascal scooter.
Just
like, thank you for shopping at Walmart.
And we'll be working to pay our medical bills that we will be accruing because we will be living at such a longer lifespan.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Well, if I was smart, I would have got the old snip job when they did my hernia, because then I could have been like doubly done.
Yeah, you could have had your crotch laid up for weeks anyway. Might as well.
Was not thinking that through. Because now you're probably just firing off blanks with reckless abandon, like, I don't have to worry about shit.
It is kind of liberating, yeah. You don't have to think that in the back of your mind. There's that worry, like, oh, crap, did I a little bit in there? Did I not? Because that was always our method, which was, of course, the tried and true method that never really worked that great, was the withdrawal, the pull-out method. I wasn't a big fan of condoms or other things like that.
Yeah, condoms are stupid.
Yeah, they're a waste of time.
I don't go to the movies and wear a fucking paper bag over my face as I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Right?
I watch the movie.
Giggity.
You want to see the Avengers in full color.
But here's the thing. People will mock me for, making babies on birth control. And I'm like, you know what, though? Maybe I just go back to the pull and pray, because I'm batting 1,000 with that.
Yeah, there you go, right?
I didn't accidentally, slip one past the goalie all those times that I gacked on thighs, tummies, and tits.
Exactly. See, I hope you don't mind me asking, was the wife on some form of birth control? I mean, what were you saying?
She's been on the pill.
Really? Wow.
That's why I say I'm a 0.1 percenter. That's
Wow.
why we did an episode about it after the previous one.
Yeah.
That was called 99.9% effective my ass.
That is crazy. My wife was using
The NuvaRing?
An IUD. No, she had tried that. Didn't work well with the actual the hormones or whatever it was that was part of that. But she actually got an IUD, and it would be great, but it was causing her a ton of pain. And no joke, there's a string that kind of hangs down from that, and it would sometimes during sex it would rub the tip of my dick raw from having sex. Yeah, the string would kind of hang in an area where I was hitting. And
The fuck is it made out of braided thistle rope?
Well, I don't know. Maybe
Jesus
it's just the way
Christ.
we have sex. I don't know. Maybe I was just pounding too hard and too fast for too long, and it just wore a... But yeah, there was a couple times where I had a red stripe on the top of my dick, the tip of my dick, from hitting that string. And I could feel it, too, while we were doing it. It was like, God, what is that in there?
See, that's the wife's new idea. Is she wants to get an IUD. And I'm like, no. She's like, what do you mean, no?
Like you can tell her? Or...
Well, for starters, that's stupid because it's a foreign body inside of you.
Yes.
And they get dislodged or they cause problems. Like if I had problems pooping and they could fix it by sticking a piece of plastic up my asshole, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Because there's a piece of plastic up my asshole. And now you've just given me further credence for why it's a bad idea. Because I don't need any fucking raw helmet rubbage from a piece of rope on my dick like I'm fucking a piece of dental floss stuck in the middle of a sloppy Joe.
Yeah, it was odd the times it would happen. Because it was random, too. Somehow the string would be in the perfect spot.
Hi.
Another reason that you probably want to argue against it as well is the wife had lots of issues with odd bleeding and spotting, and there would just be times where her cramps would just ache because that thing would kind of get out of position or out of alignment, and I think it would just cause her lots of pain to the point where she would have to go into work late some days and things like that. It was pretty bad. So that was another reason why I thought, well, if I could handle our baby making problems on my end and it's fairly pain-free or cheap, why not give it a shot?
We'll address that in a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
So with this IUD talk, and I kind of put my foot down, I'm like, you don't get to decide. All right, it's bad enough that I get teased incessantly about how potent I am. And I myself, I can shoulder enough of the blame that I can laugh it off to a point. But sometimes I want to stab somebody in the face with my fucking car keys.
Well, yeah, because it's your life, right?
Well, some people are like, well, you can say no. Like, yes, that's what I want to be, is in a sexless marriage. How's that working for you, dum-dum? Are you happy? Do you go to bed feeling fully content? No, probably not. When I can easily just go back to what I did as a teen and 20-something and just take it out and be like, and just let it go. Kind of grab it, give it a couple of pulls, try to not get it in the belly button.
Or make her give it a few pulls, because then...
No.
Yeah.
I've had some bad experiences with that.
You get punched?
No, but like if they grab it too hard and they go too fast, suddenly you're like, oh my God, no.
You don't rub it off. You don't rub it off.
Jesus Christ. You're not fucking plunging a toilet.
Right.
Or churning butter.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the partner too. Yeah.
I had one, and she grabbed it. I'm just like, oh, when I pull out, just jerk me off a little. I figured that I didn't need to say, don't go high speed with a bear grip. And then I was like, whoa.
Right. Was she starting a fire? I mean, Jesus.
I don't know, but I never found the cum.
What?
I don't know if it just like, I froze, like my body locked up.
It just stayed in the tube?
Yeah,
In
like
the chamber?
like a computer with a bad Windows 98 update, and it's not complete, so
The
there's source
infinite
code
spinning
that
wheel
crashes. Yeah, and never again. I'm like, I need to take this into my own hands, literally.
Yeah.
So it's like I will just put a hand on the bed, I will give it a few pumps and be like, okay, I'm done. Let's get a towel. Most people don't complain about getting wiped off.
True.
The wife is like, well, what? I just lay there covered in cum, vulnerable. Will you go to the bathroom to clean your dick off and leave me to wait?
See, now you have to be a gentleman. I will find you a random T-shirt, maybe some discarded clothing we had around.
Toilet paper.
It sometimes
And then a
clumps
baby
up,
wipe.
you know, kind of like gets stuck to you sometimes.
Not if you know what you're doing.
Well, I guess I'm so used to using fabric and stuff.
Are you laying down the fucking toilet paper on the cum and letting it sit for a few minutes to soak it up like a Bounty commercial?
No, but there are some toilet papers. What do you use in Scott tissue? Like the stuff that's like sandpaper and holds together? I mean...
No, Quilted Northern. And you take a wipe of the cum and then you fold it over and you get some more and then you get a baby wipe and you finish. Bing, bang, boom.
See, not all of us have baby wipes on stock in the house.
Well, they have this thing. It's called a store. And you can buy those to wipe up cum. Nobody's like, you don't have to get into a raft and traverse a fucking ocean to get to a castle on an island, cross a moat, and slay a dragon. They're right there next to the diapers.
See, I'm going to go more green than you. And I'm going to say,
off.
use something reusable. Why put that in a landfill? Why even put that into your septic?
You ever put on an undershirt and then get out in the sunlight and realize there's a fucking cum stain on it that the wash didn't get out?
No.
Because I've been there.
What color is your cum?
Cum will make a white t-shirt have a yellow stain.
So will armpit juice and everything
No,
else like that.
that's only if you wear deodorant.
True. Yes,
I don't
that
wear
is true.
deodorant, so
Yeah.
I don't have pit stains.
True, yeah.
Overthinking it, but figuring it out along the way. And now, story time. I had a bunch of old t-shirts that I would wipe up my cum with when I jerked off.
Right.
When my room was in the basement at my parents' house. And I figured, I got to get rid of the evidence. And I can't just throw them in the regular garbage. My dad is a pack rat and will regularly rifle through the trash looking for shit that he doesn't think should be in the garbage.
Like a bunch of cum-stained T-shirts.
Right, and they're going to be crispy as all hell. So I put them in a fucking Target bag, and I left early for work to Menards one morning, and I drove through the parking lot of my elementary school that's a Catholic church, and they had a construction dumpster. And I drove by, and I threw it away there and sped off like I was dumping evidence of a crime.
In a way you were.
A Catholic church parking lot,
Yeah.
cum-stained T-shirts in a Target bag. Like, not 2, like 12.
And when you were working at Menards, I'm pretty sure you were of an adult age, right? You were like 19, 20, 21.
I didn't get a job there till I was 18.
There you go. So, an adult man throwing cum-stained T-shirts in a church parking lot.
Like I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
Just more of that shame that comes with the Catholic guilt.
I feel like that somehow would be prosecutable. I think they would find a way to ring you up on charges if they knew that you had done that.
For impregnating a dumpster?
Well, I don't know. I guess hazardous waste, toxic waste. I mean, bodily fluids are considered like exceptional when it comes to where you can dispose of those.
If you get it on another person.
Well, I'm just saying.
Unless there was a fucking homeless guy in there that opened the bag up and was like, oh, hey, T-shirts. And if he wore those and he got sweaty, I guarantee you he was itchy as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Because I could have taken that bag of T-shirts. I had wiped so much cum on these T-shirts. You could have thrown them in a bathtub, and any woman that previously had problems conceiving a child would have had triplets, like a month later.
I was going to say, and that would have a general odor, too, especially if that person started wearing them and was sweating and kind of rehydrating that. You know, that would be a whole new smell as well.
Yeah, and you want to talk about humid days when you got to peel your shirt off.
Yeah.
You really would be peeling your fucking shirt off. Fucking rashes from all my cum on you. It's bad enough you don't have a home, but now you have a dead cum rash.
Right? But maybe it's a grade up from what he was wearing before. Or she.
I feel like it wouldn't be a homeless woman wearing my cum. It'd be funny, I guess, if a homeless woman's wearing my cum t-shirts.
I was going to say, don't a lot of them know what cum tastes like anyway, or smells like? I mean,
probably.
I think that's like, it's like one of the forms of currency in the homeless world.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
So now, you make the decision to get the vasectomy.
Yep.
You go to the clinic. You get the consultation.
Actually, the avenue I took was a little bit different. So, the gentleman that I found, or the clinic I found, was down in, I guess, Edina area over by Southdale Mall. There's a hospital down there. And everything was online. So all the information was online. You could book the appointment online. Obviously, they would give you a call and just verify, a few things. But they would send you this information to basically kind of, are you sure you want a vasectomy? Are you a candidate? Type thing. And basically answer these questions in your life.
Question 1. Do you have a penis?
Right. Right.
Sorry, you've got a vagina, ma'am. You can't do this.
Surprisingly, that was not one of the questions. It would seem to eliminate half the number of people applying, right? But no, a lot of the questions were, do you already have kids? How old are you? Is your partner okay with this? Stuff like that. Basically, a lot of things to just make sure that you are certain about your decision, and pretty much it was easy for me. All the boxes I checked off, later in life, kids anymore, I already have a kid. Yes, my partner does not want to have any children herself. All these things. It was kind of real easy. So kind of went through that screening process.
I don't like living on a 28-day calendar of praying for good news.
That was part of it, yeah. With the IUD situation and the pain, it wasn't just a 1-week period either. It was like a 2-week process. She would kind of get some pains beforehand, and then, it would be like 4 or 5 days before she would even get her period, and then period would just seem to go on for a week and a half as far as spotting and blood and things like that. So it was another thing where our window to have sex was only like 2 weeks every month, too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right. Or at least sex that wouldn't be very painful for her.
I was going to say, she wasn't letting you stir the paint?
Well, no, I could. It was just sometimes she would be more comfortable if we would do things in the shower, just because there would be spotting or it would be a little bit of blood or something like that. But you get over that, especially when you've been with somebody for a long time. You're just like, eh.
Or if you own a dark towel.
Right, that was another reason.
You lay it on the bed,
towels. Yeah.
and then you wash it, and it's dark. Or else you take it with some isotone or gloves and put it in a bag and throw it away in the airport. And,
Or a Catholic church somewhere.
Maybe not the period stained towels, just the cum rag t-shirts.
There's a limit on what
I have standards.
Okay, fair enough. So there wasn't, the actual first time I ever went to the clinic was when I went to have the procedure done.
Jesus Christ, that's a leap of faith.
It was. And, in hindsight, maybe I should have done a little bit more research. Maybe I should have asked the right questions. They kind of give you a synopsis of the process. And what this guy does, he claimed it was going to be an easy, quick vasectomy, meaning you just come in, he does the work, and you're out within maybe even half an hour.
I'm not sure that the word quick makes me feel more comfortable.
Well, it is an uncomfortable process, so I guess the amount that you can limit it, the amount of time you're doing it, probably the better.
Well, I'm not saying like he takes a smoke break every 10 minutes because his hands shake if he doesn't.
Right, but the process is in such a way that they make 2 tiny little incisions, so he's not fully cutting open your sac. You're not being, it's not a major surgery. In fact, I think they call it almost minimally invasive. And I can tell you the process if you want. It might make you a little squeamish, and it definitely was not good.
Do you know how many fucking cartel beheading videos I've watched on bestgore.com? That's bestgore.com. I've been plugging them a lot lately. I hope that it pays off.
I was going to say, do they owe you money? Do they owe you royalties?
No,
Anything?
I just love the fact that they show the videos that the rest of the news is afraid to show the world to know what's really going on. And I have seen a lot of murders on the internet. Holy shit.
I've seen some pretty graphic stuff, and this was years ago. I've seen stuff where, guys in a motorcycle accident with their leg laying off to the side while people are just standing around taking pictures of them as they slowly bleed out.
Yeah, that's
like
India
that.
for you.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was like Southeast Asia or something like that. Yeah, some pretty nasty stuff out there. A lot of accident videos, I guess, is what I've seen, but I didn't know about best gore. Maybe I'll have to go in incognito mode and see that. So
You don't have to go incognito.
I don't want that shit showing up in my regular browser history. Come on, man.
Clear that shit.
That's too much work. If I can just go incognito mode.
I guess.
Yeah.
There was a video
Thanks,
of
Chrome.
a toddler in India.
Oh,
She
no.
somehow fell off a train platform and was crawling, and then she got bisected.
Oh, goddamn.
She missed the first set of train wheels, and then it rolled right over her.
Oh.
Yeah.
One I saw was this kid. They had the the overhead power lines for the trains wherever they were at, kind of like we have the light rail downtown. And idiot was riding on top of the car, right?
I like where this is going.
As they pulled up to the station, right? And somebody must have been taking a video because a family member was getting off or they were meeting somebody there. The kid gets up and not even thinking, just rests his hand up on the wire. All it is just this brightest flash as you can imagine. Kid basically falls over face first and is just hanging one arm over the top of the car, and his head just starts on fire. He just starts burning. Basically, he was instantly dead. For his sake, he was toast the instant he touched that thing. That's why I tell my son, some of that stuff you cannot unsee. So make sure you're prepared to see it.
I like that video of that guy sticking the glass jar up his asshole and then it breaks.
Oh, God.
And then he's just pulling like shards of glass out of his
yeah,
bloody asshole.
Yeah, is it just kind of raining out because he cut himself so bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had to be a very panicked moment. Not unlike when a doctor makes a very minimally invasive small incision on each side of your sack.
Yes. So it was interesting because you go in there and they have a special jock strap that you're going to wear. It's basically like an athletic supporter. So they have you get into that and you sit on the table, and this guy was fast. Like I said, I wish I would have done a little bit more research or asked the right questions, because he comes in, he's talkative, but he's not speaking very good English, but in a way he's kind of he's joking around like he's done this a bunch of times, so that's what you're kind of being relaxed about. You're like, okay,
just
this guy must have done hundreds of these, so
for the sake of specificity in my head, so I can hear what he sounds like, what was his ethnicity?
I would say Japanese or Chinese.
Did he have a high voice or a low voice?
Kind of higher.
I found that the lower voiced Asian men speak quieter, like Akira.
Okay.
The karate dojo.
Yeah, and he was
Simpsons.
almost more like talking to, like, he was probably trying to be relaxing, so he was just constantly talking or chatting, I think, in an attempt to be relaxing,
Like when you're on the phone with customer service for Wells Fargo and they're like, I'm just going to check now. I'm just waiting for your update on your account.
Oh, yeah. That's
I'm
not
just
awkward.
looking at your balance.
Yeah.
I'm just constantly filling every free fucking second with some stupid prattling on so you know that I'm doing work and not just jerking myself off onto the table.
Or just putting you on hold for the next 5 minutes and you wondering, have they forgotten about me? I'd almost prefer that in some way.
So high-pitched kind of Asian guy, probably talking louder.
Yeah. Yep.
See, like I said, quieter in the deeper end of the spectrum, louder on the high-pitched shit.
This guy also runs a plastic surgery clinic too.
Oh God!
Right? Yeah. So I could have gotten a facelift and a nose job and a ball cut
and a sack de-wrinkling.
Right. I think that is one of his
First I
services.
snip your sack, then I bleach your asshole.
Then we make it so smooth.
2 for 1.
Yes. He then kind of checks you out, basically pulls your shit down just to see what he's working with, I guess. And he comes out with this little paper thing. It's like not like a Sani ring for a toilet, but kind of similar. Basically, he puts it on you, and your balls just kind of flop through onto this paper, right?
What about your dick?
No, you keep that kind of folded up against your body.
So basically...
laying against your body, because you're laying down.
He put your sack in a neck cone like a dog that just got neutered.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He's isolating it for work purposes.
Now I'm going to snip your vas deferens. You ready? Here I go. No, I already done. I lie. You know feel.
Speaking of the feeling part, so he puts this, like the iodine on there, basically the stuff to disinfect, the alcohol and everything else like that. And he puts a topical anesthetic on. Just some other stuff to help kind of numb you up. And I can't remember. I think he put in some small injections, but it's this kind of clicking injection type of thing, almost like an EpiPen, where he'll put it against your skin and it just kind of pricks you real quick and injects you with some numbing medicine.
Did your balls get stung by a bee or what?
Kind of, in a way. He's talking to you for the 2-3 minutes it takes to kind of let that sink in. And then he comes in, he does the same type of thing, and he makes a couple incisions. One on each side of the line of your ball sack, that line that runs kind of from tip to to asshole, I guess, in a way.
Your taint?
Yes, tip to taint. I don't know why I didn't say that. That used to be words that flowed off the tongue easily in my youth. But anyway, so makes a couple snips, and here's where the uncomfortable part comes in. Because what he does is he has this little hook tool, and you kind of get the he goes in through the incision and he pulls up your sperm tube, right, to where he can kind of see it, and then he snips the one end, cauterizes it with this burny little thing. You actually see a little bit of smoke and you can smell almost like burning hair.
That's comforting.
Yeah, and the other end gets snipped with a little titanium clamp, I guess. Yeah, and I can feel it in there now. I couldn't for a while because of the swelling and things like that, but I can feel it in there now. If I actually search a little bit, I can feel feels like a little nodule in there.
I wish that I had the metal detecting wand for my old job right now. I would say we need to find out if your sack gives off. Do you go to the airport and you beep, 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 beep?
Right.
Oh, I had my shit snipped.
Right. And if they really hone in, am I going to have to go and get searched every time? Because obviously the wand's going to go nuts at my crotch or my rectal area, right?
Get ready for an ass fingering because they're looking for drugs.
Well, what's amazing is I've flown since I've had the 1.5 foot long rod put in my leg. I've flown since I've had that T-plate put in my wrist after that got shattered. Mm-hmm. Never once have I set off any type of sensors or alarms. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine what it would be like if I go there now and it's my balls that fucking finally set it off.
Like,
all
not
the fucking
rod
surgeries
in my leg,
yeah.
Not the plate in my wrist, the fucking clamp in my sack. That's what's setting her off.
Are you fucking serious?
That's why I'm on the no-fly list. Because I said my dick's the bomb, and they're like, "Whoa,
we got to see this."
Sit, spread, lift, cough, kiss you on the forehead.
So he goes in there, and that was the most uncomfortable part, is when he goes in there and he hooks it and he pulls it up, because no amount of the topical anesthetic and the local anesthetic really gets you for where that deep pull comes from inside your body, right? Like you're feeling it way in there, and you're just like, oh, it was kind of sickening to the stomach. But he did it fast enough on both sides that all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're done. You're on your way. Here's your little goodie bag of information on how to take care of it.
Please tell me he slipped you a plastic tray with 2 dinner mints and a fortune cookie. That shit would be hilariously stereotypical.
No, they don't all do that.
What up, Ninja? You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
Yeah, I got to say, Mike, I went in for a consultation for this, like 2-3 years ago.
For the VAS?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was this Middle Eastern doctor, just telling you for the sake of clarity here. And he's talking about, he's like, oh, it's very simple. I do this all the time. In my head, he sounds just like
the Beast's
dead dad. All Middle Eastern men end up sounding like that in my head somehow.
Sure.
He didn't sound like he was from like India, like a poo or anything. So basically, I'm reading the pamphlet. I'm like, he's going to slice me open. Then he's going to take a fucking soldering iron to my sack. Then he's going to put a clamp on my fucking ball tube there. And then I'm just going to go home and hope that I'm not Antonio Rogers Cromartie conceiving 3 children after having had a vasectomy. Because that'd be my fucking luck. Is I'm the guy that fucking knocks my wife up with twins after getting my shit snipped. And I'm not saying like I go fuck her 5 days later. I'm saying like a year later, like, what the fuck?
Well, Antonio Rogers Cromartie, so in my experience, they basically said, hey, for the next 3 months, take it easy. You could still be fertile, but in this amount of time, send us a sample. We'll test it and make sure that your sperm count is non-existent, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing Rogers Cromartie had the surgery done and went just gang wild in a week's time, thinking, oh, I'm all clear, but the surgery didn't really take, or for whatever reason.
No, I think he waited some.
Did he? Okay.
But that'd be me. I'm like trying to name off all my kids, and there's like a gap. And there's like BV and AV, just like BC and AD.
Right.
Before vasectomy, after vasectomy. Wow, what the fuck are you talking about after vasectomy?
Right.
I got snipped, it didn't take. Fucking Middle Eastern doctor, I don't know. He was sitting there cutting my ball sack open, and he used a hooky thing to pull it out and fuck with my tubes. And then he was using a soldering iron. The whole time he's fucking muttering Allahu Akbar under his breath real quietly. He thought I couldn't hear him, but I could fucking smell the falafel on his breath. I knew what he was doing.
Well, just because he likes falafel doesn't mean he's not a good vasectomy doctor.
Yeah, I know, but what I turned that into was anti-American hate crime.
Yeah, I know.
In that hypothetical.
Getting back at the Westerners, I get it, yeah.
I hope you'll heal well. Also, death to infidels. Wait, what? What is this death to infidels shit that he's talking about?
Why did they go hand in hand?
Is this because I started humming A Whole New World while you were down there? Aladdin.
I was just going to say, which one of the remakes was that from? I saw...
that was the original.
Yeah. Wait, that wasn't in the remake? I don't know.
I'm sure it was. They remade all the songs and only had like 1 or 2 new ones, but you're not going to redo it better than motherfucking Peebo Bryson did with the original.
Yeah. No, Aladdin was special, wasn't it? So there is a little bit more to the story. So when I keep saying that I wish I would have asked the right questions, it's not one of those things where you even really know the right questions. My sister's husband had it done as well. He was kind of in the same boat as me. He has a 13 or 14-year-old daughter, and my sister has no interest in having kids herself. That's
a sister I met, right?
Yes. Yep. And he was the guy who was the officiant at our wedding, right? So I'd asked him, I'm like, where did you go? How was it for you? And he kind of explained a similar process for him, but he had gone to some place in St. Paul, right? One of the questions I wish I would have asked is, what are the long-term? Is there any long-term pain? Because within that first week, there was some soreness, there was some swelling, there was a do not look at it, do not touch it type of thing, honey. And there was no pain when we first started having sex again. There was no pain for the first 3 months. I think I got a clean bill, so to say, in like middle of July or end of June when I had sent it my sample, right? Because I'd had this done back in like April or something like that. And I think it's a 2-month period that they check you again. So everything was fine. Within the last 3 weeks, no joke, I am starting to get phantom ball pain, so to say. I don't know how else to explain it. So when I was a kid, I would have issues with testicular torsion. It's basically when your ball gets twisted in your sac.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. I've seen that episode of Venture Brothers. That's
right.
Where I learned about it.
And it was never anything where I had to have surgery. I only went to the doctor once, and that's when I learned what the problem was. And really, it's just your ball sac retracting and kind of twisting the ball as it does it. So I found the way to, solve my problem was to just kind of warm up my ball sack in my hands and, kind of manually twist my ball back around. No problems. I'm wondering if something happens, or if maybe because of that condition I have, or the fact that it's prone to do that, if something has gotten maybe turned around and it's causing some pain or some swelling or something like that. Because I had never had any problems up until just recently. And now it's time, basically whenever I get an erection, it kind of tugs. It feels like it pulls something in there and it causes a little discomfort, to the point where it makes you really concentrate even more sometimes to come during sex, and sometimes it's almost impossible. I'm not going to be able to concentrate that hard because there's just enough pain in the ball sack to be distracting. I'm not a masochist or sadist or whichever one enjoys pain to their ball sack.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys, so for me it's more distracting than pleasurable.
Don't just suck on it, punch it.
Right.
God damn it, I want to feel the blowjob.
Yeah.
Here's my armchair assessment of that, and I am not a physician, nor do I play one on TV. You have a problem with the clamp and scar tissue.
That was going to be my next thought, and I figured if this was going to continue on, I was definitely going to reach out to him or just do a better web search and just ask the right questions, right? Because I'm not the first guy to have this done. I'm sure somebody else has run into the same type of problem.
And everybody knows that asking Dr. Google is the best way to get an answer as opposed to speaking to a real doctor. So I like that you did it, and then you're like, well, looking back, I probably should have done it differently.
Yeah, buyer's remorse, so to say. As long as it doesn't last forever, there's a way to possibly alleviate some of the pain. Like even sitting here now, the right one kind of is twinging a little bit. So
I'd get that looked at.
Yeah.
There's
no swelling, though. There's nothing major. It's just slight jabby pain every once in a while, right?
There's no discoloration. There's no swelling. Well, I don't think anything's wrong. I keep having these stabbing pains in my fucking tea bag, but
right.
I figure over time.
I piss blood. It's one of those things, though, where life is pain. As you get older, you have aches and pains, and you have things that you just kind of deal with. And it's like, well, is this something I could just put up with over time? And I don't think it is.
You just equated a bad hip to coming fire, basically.
Well, no, there's no problem with the coming. It's just when the balls are slapping and during sex. You know what I mean? That's what I think it is. Because there's motion. There's things moving around.
Less lower back, more hip. More hip. It's in the twist. And now, Jeremy Irons raps.
My balls, Kimber's lice. Your balls, minitrice. My balls, Bolo Young. Your balls, William Hung. My balls, buff like He-Man. Your balls, tucked like She-Men. My balls, die for the thug life. Your balls, cried during Bug's life.
That was Jeremy Irons Raps.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
Well, we've reached the point in the show when it's time to play a game.
Family-friendly game?
Of course not. We'll be playing BS Trivia.
I played this one a couple times.
Yeah, so looks like your
number
first time
4.
you got a 7 out of 10. I don't know when the next one was.
I got a 7 out of 10 on number 27 on the list.
You're asking me to fucking squint pretty hard. Where the fuck is 27?
Third column.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
I don't even remember what episode that was.
Oh, number 15, I got a 7 as well. So
Jesus Christ.
I've got a mean streak of 7s
All right,
going. What is the record?
The record is 8. Still held by Dr. Murr.
Yep.
People have come close, but they have flown too close to the sun and burned their wings.
Yeah, I'm probably one of those.
So here's the format, 10 questions. Very simple. They either have an answer, or maybe they don't have an answer. And I've been known to give half points for creativity. BS Trivia. It's time to play bullshit trivia on Blumpkin and Friends. Question number 1. Spell spermatozoa.
Spermatozoa. S-P-E-R-M-A-T-A-Z-O-A. Spermatozoa.
It's incorrect.
I knew
It's T-O-Z-O-A.
I thought it was an O. Damn it.
I do like that you adhered to the spelling bee format, though, in your answer. That was classy.
Always a winner.
Okay. Question number 2. If you shoot 5 loads a week for 27 weeks, how many loads is that?
135.
That is correct.
Yeah.
As we learned last time you played that, you're a fucking math whiz, and I never realized that.
What's crazy is I took way longer that time just to make sure I didn't mess it up, because I'm like, I got to get the math one right.
Question number 3. True or false? The average load contains up to 100 million sperm.
True.
That is correct. Up to, not exactly.
Well, some people have a little more, some people have a little less, as we've learned.
I probably have crazy volume. Question number 4. Married with Children had an episode where Al accidentally got a vasectomy. Or circumcision. Which one?
Vasectomy.
It's circumcision. He accidentally got a circumcision.
Oh, I guess I wouldn't have assumed that he was already uncut. What's interesting is I actually watched an episode of Married with Children last night.
No. Too bad it wasn't that one. Question number 5. Lower Rotten Tomatoes score. Look Who's Talking Now, or Look Who's Talking To.
Look Who's Talking. Ooh, hold on.
That wasn't one of the options.
No, I was trying to remember the order, the sequential order, because 2 was obviously 2, and that was the one I believe that had Roseanne Barr. But Look Who's Talking Now was probably the more recent one. It was the last one. I would say Look Who's Talking Now.
That is correct. It has a 0% score.
Oh.
Whereas Look Who's Talking To has 19%.
Oh, that's still too high.
Well, the third one had the dogs.
Oh, is that what the... Okay. See,
Yeah.
after the second one, I was out.
Question number 6. We're going to dip back into the spelling. Spell vas deferens.
Vas deferens. V-A-S-D-E-F-E-R-E-N-S.
That is correct.
Deferens. Yeah, I get that, not spermatozoa.
You fuck up one vowel. That's all it takes.
No.
Well, you might actually know this one. Question number 7. Sufferers of testicular torsion require removal 40, 50, or 60% of the time.
Well, they didn't tell me that stat when they were telling me about it. I was going to say it's probably 40 or 50. I wouldn't go with 60. Let's go 40.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing very well.
Thank you. 50 seems a little high.
Question number 8, the equalizer. It's always the same question. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Other Neil's butthole.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's mine. Oh, wait, I would be Other
No.
Neil. I mean original Neil.
Well, whenever you're with me, you're Neil and he's Other Neil, and vice
Yeah.
versa.
Okay, so this fits.
So you're saying she's in Neil's butthole.
Yes.
Which is interesting, but incorrect. She's at the Sperm Festival in Prague, Czech Republic.
Oh, that would be kind of messy.
That's a thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do have another sperm story for you when we're done here.
Oh, goody.
Don't let me forget.
Question number 9. True or false? Redheads are paid more for their sperm at sperm banks.
False.
That is true.
Really? There should be more ginger children in this world?
Because they are seen as, I guess I'm going to use the term genetic mutation or genetic rarity.
Oh.
People try to seek out certain types of children with the sperm they select. My friend, who I used to work with, is a ginger, has a younger brother who got paid extra for firing off his knuckle children because he's a ginger.
Damn it. See? It's all rigged.
I know. Those fuckers. Question number 10. Antonio Cromartie has 15 children. How many did he have post-vasectomy?
3.
I was going to give you options, but yeah, he got it right.
You had mentioned it earlier in the show. So
I had.
I was paying
I had.
attention.
Sometimes I do that where I kind of pepper it in there.
I like that, yeah.
So out of 10, you
Yeah, I
got
didn't do
1,
so well this time.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Down.
solid.
Lowering my average. So,
Story time.
the extra little story, the extra little nugget. So, apparently down in Australia or New Zealand, somewhere down in that area of the world, there was a fire. Now, this was Stephen Colbert that told me about this the other night. There was a fire at a cattle sperm facility where they were storing cattle sperm cryogenically. And apparently the heat from the fire started popping the lids off of these sperm, and there was sperm projectiles being shot out of this facility as it was burning.
I love
was
everything about what you
raining
just
sperm.
said.
Yeah.
That sounds hilarious.
You know, I would highly recommend looking up the story for factual correctiveness.
Did Crocodile Dundee come out of the bush and rescue anybody that was trapped under like some burning cinders of fucking crash down walls? And
You know, that imagery would have just made it all the more better. I wish, you know, what was his name? I can't
Paul
remember.
Hogan.
Paul Hogan, yes.
Where the fuck was Paul Hogan?
Right? Wrestling an alligator off in the swamp somewhere.
I think he actually might be dead.
Within the last few years?
He might have died.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't look it up.
You want to replace Paul Hogan? You just you teach Michael Bolton how to do an Australian accent. They kind of look alike. Bolton's got the bigger nose, but
I was going to say, are we talking like 80s Bolton, or are we talking Michael Bolton like later on? It must be later on, because 80s
Yeah, it's
Bolton,
Bolton
had like
now.
had the, you know, the curly long locks. And I guess that's
it's
how I
not
know
the
Michael
hair. It's
Bolton.
about the facial shape
Oh, yeah.
and the leathery skin.
Yeah.
He's still a handsome devil.
You know, would you?
Well, see, I was going to propose something at you too, so it's funny you pull that out of your bag, so to speak, with this episode. No pun intended.
Right? That was for the Japanese doctor.
So, bonus game here. Would you rather fuck Kenny G from the 90s or Michael Bolton now?
I would go Kenny G from the 90s just because he was a little bit more fair back then.
Fair. What?
Well, he was a little more effeminate, right? You know, if I'm gonna do it, I need to kind of get closer.
What, like he got all fucking roided out and he's just chiseled now?
Well, I don't know. I think he's probably pretty hideously old now, right? Kenny G?
He's probably in his 50s. I know he
Right.
plays an instrument that looks like a big dick, so
Yeah, maybe he knows how to use his lips better than
it
old
takes
Michael.
a man to know what a man likes. Interact with the show on Twitter at Blumpkin Show. That is at Blumpkin Show. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Blumpkin and friends. We are on iTunes and Podbean at blumpkinshow.podbean.com. For original songs by yours truly, you can go to soundcloud.com/BlumpkinMusic, or you can search Blumpkin Music on YouTube. And for related shows on the same network, go to infirmary.org for Infirmary Media Podcasts. I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
This is Other Neil.
Good night.